All right. Every time I come back, I always say, all right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. It's 8:49 on a brisk winter evening here in South Charleston, West Virginia. My name is Zachary Evans. I'm joined by Sam Hanna.
Hello.
And we're bringing you round 3 coverage of Friday Night Magic from Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. 28 competitors tonight battling it out for bragging rights and those sweet packs of Return to Ravnica cards. Round 3 of 5 with a cut to top 8. Let's talk about your matchup. Your 2 competitors, both are 1-1. On the left, Victor Vasquez. I'll tell you this. I'll put this up just for the time being, but I asked Victor what he was playing, and he said, and I quote, pure jank. So should be fun to see what he has in store for us today.
I would like to give a shout out to him. He actually is the person that introduced me to the word jank.
Yeah, he's very fond of the word,
yes,
and I think uses it in the appropriate context. So he was the last. Victor, to be fair, Victor doesn't get to play here all that much. He does live a considerable distance away from the store, and really only gets to come and play when he also has other business in the area. So it's good to see him out. And I don't know exactly what he has in store for us, but last time he was here, he was playing a Rakdos Gutter Snipe deck, which is basically just removal spells and burn spells and killed you with Gutter Snipe. He went undefeated with it and made the top 8.
Wow.
He's he uses jank a lot, and also he's very aggressive in terms of what his own jank, which I think is often not warranted. But his opponents, who played last week, unfortunately, you might remember him as the guy who Max Turner burnt at the stake twice in a row. But it's Evan Hudnall, and he's playing. Oh, forgot to let them know. I appreciate them waiting for us as we see them shuffling up the rock, paper, scissors cards that they will use to start the game. But Evan playing a black-white Exalted deck with, as we see, paper, beat Rock Lobster. So Evan will go first. If you want to win your own place of those cards, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. Look for more information in the most recent post of how to win those. And if you're watching on YouTube, you still got until next week to enter. As we're now joined by Jordan Petyo. Did you get some sweet trades in, Jordan?
Yes, it takes forever to trade for back basics.
Wait, was that from Troy?
Yes.
I tried so hard to trade them for him.
I will trade them to you because I've got them for trade fodder.
To be fair, Troy just didn't. There was nothing that. Troy has about like 5 cards that I desperately want, but all of them are sizable in dollar value, and despite having a binder full of goodies, they're not necessarily the goodies that he's looking for.
Well, it turns out he inherited all of them.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it. That's the way most people get when they have like a whole standard binder and then they've got like one wasteland in the back. It's because like, oh, my uncle had these cards and he just gave them to me and it just had a scrubland in it, so no big deal. But so here we've got Victor Vasquez on the left playing pure jank is what he called it. I don't know what it is. I'll change.
Put it as the title.
I'll change it.
Pure jank.
Against Evan Hudnall, who's playing Black White Exalted. I don't even know what Victor's colors are. Like I was telling everyone, last time he was here, he played Rakdos Gutter Snipe deck that, despite having the words Rakdos and Gutter Snipe in the deck name, went undefeated. He went 4-0 and drew into the top 8. I don't remember. I think he lost in the quarterfinals in the top 8, but still a good showing.
Indeed.
Victor's a good player, and he likes to play. You know, he's not Zach Villianco style. You know, he's not that hardcore into the fun decks. There's no copies of whatever those Elocutors are in this deck. But
Goblin Electromancer.
So he's playing Swamps.
So maybe it's a new Shard of Alara that we haven't heard about.
So 2 Tormented Souls come up for Evan.
Ooh.
Not necessarily the best thing in the world, as he is playing Exalted. So.
Yeah.
But they still both attack
the
the 2.
Sublime, I guess. Spread that up.
Yep. Oh, he's playing a Pack Rat. Oh, goodness. I don't know what I'm just going to put Pack Rat. Pack Rat jank.
And then we've got a Knight of Glory. Looks like
Knight of Glory, so that will get in for 3.
Should only get
2. Yeah, that's because Magic doesn't work like that. It's not. I just treated.
It would be really cool if like Knight of Glory was a Sublime Archangel.
I just basically treated every creature, every spell in his deck like Sublime Archangel. Once you said Sublime Archangel, I just assumed everything he played was Sublime Archangel.
Which I feel like everyone would want to play Exalted then, because all your creatures are ridiculous.
And it looks like protection from black is going to be hyper relevant.
Yeah, probably, unless our boy's playing some mutilates.
So basically he played a third Tormented Soul. Am I right? But not really.
I don't know what's going on, but so Victor did miss his third land drop.
Does he need another land drop now, though? Because he's got a pack rat. Isn't that, like, you just go to town with it, don't you?
I think so.
Yeah, Tormented Soul cannot block.
Mm-hmm. And I think he might have been waiting to see if Victor was going to activate the Pat Rack in response and then do some extra damage.
Come here, play for 2. Looks like he's going to hold back the Knight of Glory to block.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he just go to Shimmy Inspector. This is some jank. And I'm loving it.
I love it too.
I mean,
I like Shimmy
This
Inspector.
is not... look, Victor has... there was a period of time before you started playing in Zendikar block when Victor won almost every FNM for like 4 months.
Wow.
He was playing mono black, like Persecutors with Mimic Vat and stuff. Like it was all his own deck, and he just beat face with it. So like, trust me, Victor knows what he's doing. He's just having some fun tonight. So one activation from Pack Rat means a second Pack Rat token. I'm very disappointed that they don't have Pack Rat tokens. Mm-hmm.
Do they really not?
They really don't, but I suppose it's supposed to be the token is another Pack Rat thing.
So it's just the card.
It's just.
My question is, did he lay a land? Like, what point is there now? Because isn't that just rats? Like, don't you want to just make more pack rats?
Maybe.
Well, yeah, but I mean, getting up to six mana is oftentimes not nearly as advantageous. Someone in the chat giving us a little bit of hard time about whether or not this is standard since we're playing Exalted versus Pack Rats, but they can kindly stuff it, is what I believe, because we're trying to have some fun. So, I think he just forgot. Oh yeah, there's the mutilate.
Okay.
So, so he is playing mutilates. So that was his plan. He was going to kill the pack rats anyway. So if it's the old, might as well attack if they're all going away.
Mm-hmm.
So another tormented soul, and obviously Evan's playing. He does have the bomb top end too. I mean, he's playing Sublime Archangels, so it's not like.
Well, the funny thing, I mean, it's not so much of what happens now, but what used to happen is you just curse the Black White Exalted with a Curse of Death Soul, and they had to concede. Because I had that happen to me when I used to play Mono Black Trading Posts. If you would curse them, they had to concede because they had nothing with a base of 1 higher other than their Angel, and the Angel's not really that much of a rock star when everything else around it dies.
Indeed, quite.
Mm-hmm. Someone talking about Legacy in there?
Yeah. So what's he got now?
That's the Esquire. It's like the 1/3 Exalted guy, and Victor has the demon that lets him draw an extra card.
Phyrexian Manamorph?
No.
Phyrexian Arena. Phyrexian Arena.
You just make a nut card.
I am just saying words
It's
now.
Blood Gift.
Blood
Gift.
Blood Gift Demon. Now, the interesting thing about Blood Gift Demon is, unlike Phyrexian Arena, you can target the effect. So once he gets down to 1 life, he can make Evan draw the extra cards, just so he doesn't kill himself. So there's a real card. Desecration Demon, very good in this instance. I know Evan plays O-Rings in the sideboard. Do not know what his main deck answers are.
Murder?
It's the Defender Exalted dude.
Defenders of Akrashka.
People were, also I should point out that I had to go pretty deep on the tables this time, because I've got like 2 regulars now that won't play on camera for some reason. Like they just decide they don't want to play on camera anymore. So, which is fine. I mean, it's a free country, but like it makes it very difficult when you.
It's a free country. I mean.
The Epic Experiment deck was the perfect pickup for this round, but his opponent didn't want to play on camera. So what can you do? And Table 1 didn't want to play on camera either.
C'est la vie.
So every card in Victor's deck is now on the table.
I really, really hope that he digs in with Shimmy Inspector, which is something that I have never managed to accomplish in my Magic career of playing
every card on Victor's side of the board is a card that appears in the bulk rare binder, but he's going to win this game with it, and that's all that matters. Desecration Demon is a card that doesn't see nearly enough play.
I agree.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily good, but...
What hasn't found its right deck? could fit it.
It's just too easy to interact with. Oh, I forgot. It gets a counter every time that you sack
Something
a creature.
dies, yeah.
So during every combat, you can sack a creature to tap it, so to both clear a path and to keep it from beating you.
But it's funny because once it just unlocks itself and can attack, if the other deck doesn't have a bounce spell or something, you're like, all those turns you saved yourself were pointless, kind of.
The Sign Blood, or what was that? Oh no, the
Shimmy Inspector.
Nighthawk getting in.
I think pretty soon, scoop phase is going to start. Yeah, some weird-ass hands, though.
So, Shimmy Inspector, when it connects, it's basically Memoricide, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. It's
Do you have to name it?
No, you actually get to look at your opponent's hand and select a card from it that's not a land, and then you get to search their entire deck, graveyard, and library.
Now, this was a card. What? This is from Future Sight, wasn't it? They reprinted it in the core set.
No, I think this was actually just it's a new Spectre.
No, it's a reprint. I just don't remember when it's from.
Really?
It doesn't matter where it's from. It was good enough to win game one.
Yeah.
And the Pack Rat jank.
Planar Chaos.
That's Future Sight.
Alright, Future Sight.
It is. Jordan reminded me that I could look at the card viewer that I just pulled up, specifically to show it to you all. So, these, it's safe to say that we won't see either of these decks winning the Star City Open tomorrow in Columbus. But, I'll tell you what, it's fun to see some cards you wouldn't expect to see. When he played Turn 2 Pack Rat, I was pretty thrilled.
I was too.
Didn't really get there, not nearly as good.
I'm so sad the Pack Rat didn't get there.
Well, it's awful against Knight of Glory or whatever that thing is. Yeah. Getting comments in the chat about lagging stream. That is something we've been battling all night. I do not know what is going on. All of our connections are fine. Our signal strength is fine. I have been getting complaints from people in the chat that Twitch itself has been acting up all week. So it might be an issue on their end. It might be some issue that we can't foresee on our end. But regardless of that, I can't really fix it. So I don't know what to say.
We'll play around it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll play around it.
Anything else interesting going on there in the chat? No, nothing is going on. We're talking about Legacy. They're talking about that Star City cut some of its Legacy opens. It's new to me. I have not heard any of that. I think if Star City cut their Legacy opens, they would lose a crap ton of money because don't they own most of the Legacy cards in the world?
Yes.
That's kind of their marketing plan over the last few years.
It's hard to...
Our marketing plan? Very simple.
Win.
Go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic and win our magic cards. So there's 3 cards from Unglued: Rock Lobster, Paper Tiger, Scissors Lizard. It's like Rock, Paper, Scissors, or Rochambeau from when you were a kid. Isn't it hilarious? You can start your game of Magic like that. We start all of our feature matches like that. So if you want to do the same thing, you can win your own playset from us. Just go to facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic, look for the giveaway post, like our page, comment on the post, boom, you're entered. Also, next week, you're entered to win a playset of Deadbridge Goliath. Promos. Well, they're actually played in that, the Golgari deck we saw in round 2. There's Deadbridge Goliath.
I've seen it being played just a little bit.
Deadbridge Goliath is one of those cards that, when it's spoiled, you're like, that card's pretty good. But then you're like, well, it's not as good as the Titans. But then you realize the Titans were like way overpowered and ruined Standard for 2 years. Then people forget about it. Then it shows up in one of Brian Kibler's decks, and they're like, oh, yeah, it is a good card, because now Brian Kibler reminded me that like a 5/5 for 4 with some upside is still good.
Well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people, I think, a lot of Magic is just a lot of sheep. Not everyone, but there are a lot of people who will just follow.
It's not even so much about that. Things fall in and out of favor very quickly. That is...
Personally, I'm kind of happy to see Mana League non-standard now.
No, I don't... Well, there are tons of people who are upset that Mana League's not standard, and those are the people that love to play control decks. But I think for the overall health of the game, it's good to see not everyone have to be afraid of 2 untapped mana on turn 2 every time. But it is what it is. Things go in cycles. You know, I keep saying it is what it is. Oh, is it Allie Browning that's giving me
Is that
grief
the word
about-
of the day? Should we freak out now? Like
I don't
Pee-wee's
know.
Playhouse?
There's a lot of things I say a lot on here. I'll be honest with you, it's one thing I say a lot. And then I end everything with a lot. It's very hard to... Oh, we're getting some love from Prismetrics about how they own their own play set of rock paper scissors. I'm going to introduce their play group to that method here next week. So it'll be good to see. I would not say, believe me, I have never laid claim to having invented that. But I would like to.
Was a game.
No, I mean like using the cards for that purpose. But I will say that we have. I've done my fair share of promoting that, just as much as anyone else in the God's green earth. So. Oh, there's people now talking about a drinking game. Is that every time I say it is what it is, then you take a shot?
Well, that is what it is.
I don't think it counts when you say it.
It doesn't.
Well, whoops. While we were talking about nonsense, magic happened. Duty Bound Dead on turn 1, Night of Glory on turn 2. All that's important is 2 Exalted triggers. Victor down to 18 with just 2 swamps on board. No pack rat this time.
Looks like Evan's getting far less mana screwed than last time.
The 2 Night of Glory is very good against the all-black deck.
White.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Should be 4, right? Down to 14.
Should be 5. It's 3 triggers, Exalted Dead.
Yeah, that's how magic
Usually
works.
2-1.
You know, it's funny because I'm a professional engineer. You'd think I would be able to do basic math, but turns out no. I am in fact incompetent. So hope my employer's not watching. Thanks to Joe Lewis for tagging me in that picture on my Facebook last week because they do know. I don't care.
Imaginary wizard fights. Well, see,
I don't care.
Anything.
Look, I'm a grown-ass man. If I want to come here on a Friday and play.
Mutilates.
Yeah. So that's basically exactly what Victor needed. In fact, if he doesn't have turn 4 mutilate there, then he just dies. But I mean, it's that whole game, once he played the first one, is basically just a race to mutilate.
Then we have the Hasty Vampire.
Yeah, I don't know what that guy's called, but he's a
Prowler.
2/2 with haste and Exalted, right?
It's called Dustmantle Prowler?
Yep. It was a very fun card to play in M13 Limited.
And see, here's the interesting thing. Well, that's unfortunate that the other card the 2 cards in... Why did he suicide his guy into?
Tragic Slip?
No.
Slip?
I think he just screwed up.
Yeah.
Because he could have held back, and then once every creature that he draws then becomes there we go. That's good marks. Now he really wishes he hadn't suicided that guy. Did you draw another one?
Quite.
I think he drew another one.
Yep, there it is.
Could have been 3.
Oh, he's going to get killed.
Well, it just occurred to me that Dustmantle Prowler is actually an allusion to the Demur, whose guild house is called Dustmantle.
It's almost like it's almost like they planned that.
I know.
If only magic people.
I ain't got time for any of that stuff tonight, guys.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
You're trying to get yourself a cold pop. What's that lady's name? Sweet Brown. Hold on a second. It kills the desiccation damage. Victor. Oh, did you scoop?
That was he got it right there.
Okay, that mutilate would have killed your demon too.
Oh yeah, it would have.
It doesn't matter. Sorry.
So when you lose, you're upset.
Well, God knows if I miss some kind of rules thing, the stream explodes. You know how many people, like 4 months after the fact, they'll send me a thing on YouTube that says, around at 10:27, he should have taken 1 extra damage because of the unblocked. I don't give a crap. I barely give a crap if I was playing in the game right now, let alone like 4 months after the fact of a game I was commentating on a Friday night while sitting in a broom closet. And I understand that, like, that's what happens on the internet. Like, the internet was designed so people like that could have some, well, not designed, but that's what it basically has come to, is people who have, like, nothing better to do than to troll me 4 months after the fact on my Imaginary Wizard Fight videos. But Like, I'm incapable of ignoring it. Like, one of my really good friends, like Ian, who is going to Columbus with us tomorrow. Like, he's like, he just has that personality where nothing like that affects him. He's just like, he's just, I don't know what the words are, like, not brazen or whatever, but he can handle all that kind of nonsense. And I wish I had that skill so bad.
That's a good skill.
Because everything, I just stew in it. Yeah. There was one guy at one time who, over the course of and I get an email every time someone's posted on there, and it's fun because I like to respond to things and like encourage people to comment and stuff like that. And like over 30 minutes, the same guy posted like 3 or 4 comments, and every one was like, you missed this, you missed it. At the end, he's like, you guys really need to start paying attention because I know so many mistakes. And what I wanted to, basically what I replied in a very tactful fashion was, like, there's always going to be mistakes because you can't catch them all, and if that it prohibits you from enjoying these, then I don't know what to tell you. What I really wanted to say was a lot of swearing words, but I didn't.
Well, that's actually the tradition. I don't know if you're new to YouTube or not. That's the traditional scheme of how you address other people.
Yeah, it's with the stringent stream of profanity. Stringent.
Or debasing Justin Bieber.
There's actually a somewhat entertaining YouTube channel that I stumbled upon once, where it's basically just a guy who goes on like Call of Duty on Xbox or whatever and records like him like reverse trolling like kids. There's like teenagers who are just like swearing every 5 times, and he's just like, you guys are a bunch of hot dogs, and he's just, like, he insults them in ways that are not offensive, and it's surprisingly entertaining.
I'll know what I'm doing later.
Well, see if I'll put that in a recap post, see if I can put
Yes, please.
Call of Duty troll guy. You guys are just a bunch of hot dogs. So, it looked like Victor had a real thinker there. He was mulling over that 7 for quite a while.
Well, this is an interesting matchup because it's not something you see very often, which is what I like about the shop. You get some people of all walks.
Hey, listen, there's some weeks where I have a top 8 caliber, like Grand Prix top 8 caliber deck every round, usually paired against something else. The top 8 are
not.
Well, I mean, I get paired against another like tier 1 deck. Those decks are all here, but sometimes we have fun decks.
Well, it's like there's also a barrier to entry. Like I've had friends who want to come down and play it. Like, well, I mean, if you want to win, like if that's why you're wanting to come in, I just spend the money for casual stuff.
Yeah, you don't do a Grand Prix or Star City event and donate $40 just to have just for what and giggles.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can't spend $5, 3 and 2 gets you a pack. Then you're paying $1 for entertainment for 5 hours of
something like that.
wizard fighting.
I got a speeding ticket going down to Star City, so I was like, you know what? I want to give more money away. Let me help the state of Virginia pave its roads, or wherever that money goes, or get donuts for the cops.
Ouch, burn.
So Victor goes down to 5 before he can find an answer. This, of course,
You only need 3 mana pack rat.
This is game 3, as Evan did draw equal with his Black-White Exalted deck. In game 2, there, of course, is the turn 2 pack rat.
And we have...
As long as it's not Knight of Glory, that's all that matters.
That's pretty much.
That right there tells you that he doesn't have it in his hand, so Victor's in a pretty good spot. Although he did miss his land drop, so he's getting a little bit overhurt. He's got a Shimmy Inspector, it looks like an Underworld Connections, and a...
Trapboard? No.
No, I think that's a Tragic Slip comes
Tragic.
down. Tragic Slip's a card we haven't seen a lot of recently. And he's going to activate the pack rat to make a couple 2/2s.
Grow him.
Is Duty Brown dead at 0-2 base? I guess it is, because it just died.
Yep.
Probably shouldn't have blocked there.
It's an 0-2,
but,
becomes a 1/3 when it attacks.
Probably shouldn't have blocked there, but you live and learn. A little discussion about life totals, which seems to be sorted. This is Defender. Defender that has Exalted.
And Exalted does on defense? Nothing.
Yeah, but the key with the Exalted deck is you only need one creature to get in.
True.
I'm just outlining the core basis.
The thing about attacking is you want to turn your guys sideways to indicate that they are attacked, because they're dealing damage.
The good thing about damage is that 20 points of it will kill your opponent.
Yeah.
And that's a good strategy,
Yeah,
guys.
that's an A-OK strategy.
When building a deck, make sure to use the mana that your colors are in, because otherwise you can't cast any spells.
Thank you, tip card. Without you, tip card, I would never know how proliferate works.
Is there one card that has lifelink and Exalted?
Yeah.
Did I just make that card up?
No, there's gotta be, I think.
Evan's running pretty high on mana here. There's your money card.
Sublime.
The Archangel.
Sublime.
And guess what? Exalted stacks. What?
He's got 3 Exalted triggers right
Victor used his last turn to put Underworld Connections on one of his swamps, activates it for the extra card, draws again.
That mutilate.
I think he's digging for that removal spell of any kind.
Does he run any instance other than Tragic Split? Does he run any?
He might run an Ultimate Price or something. I mean, I don't know what his deck list is. The man's playing Pack Rat.
Wait, actually, he's got 4 Exalted triggers.
Ooh, right.
Because Cathedral War, he's got Exalted. If you could animate it, have 5 Exalted triggers, but you can't.
No, he doesn't, because of murder.
Aw.
And that's not like a clever magic jargon joke. That's an actual murder.
I'm so happy they printed that card.
Is it Ultimate Price? Was it murder or Ultimate Price? I think it was murder.
Well, that sucks, because murder, I love murder.
I'm going to chop that up and put that on...
If you ever need to incriminate me for anything.
See, that's an interesting choice, because I would have O-ringed one of the tokens.
Yeah, because it never comes back.
Exactly, yeah.
Also makes the game state easier to track, because then you know what the token is.
Yes.
It is strategically the correct move to make. You are correct, Sam. Well played. 10 points.
10 points to Sam Gryffindor.
Man, it's been a weird broadcast this week. Technical difficulties, geography lessons about Australia. Sam's talking about Gryffindor. I swore once.
They're talking about drinking games. They should have seen the one that had.
Look, the chat is doing it correctly. They have recognized there's no point in listening to us at this point, unless it's to hear me say my apparent catchphrase. It is what it is. There's another catchphrase that I keep trying to use that one of our faithful viewers on Facebook keeps telling me to use, and I always forget it. I'll see if I can use it at the end of this round. It's associated with someone wins the game.
I'll remind you.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got 2 Pack Rat.
You actually need a splash screen that says it, I think. I think that would be even better. Just like, BAM! It's up there. What are you going to do with this information?
Probably not care. That's the appropriate response to our stream, is to not care. There were some weeks I'm very proud of the stream, and then there's this week. I'm just like, what am I doing? Sam, this art you just drawn here, is that just freehand out of your brain?
Oh,
and that's just your own. That's just your own concoction there.
Yes, it's supposed to be.
I like it.
Thank you. It's supposed to be. It's going to be black planeswalkers.
Nicholas Bolas.
Nicholas Bolas. Then you got Soren over there, and Liliana, and Vraska.
We were here the week that Cliff Markham incorrectly or accidentally called it Nicholas Bolas. Nicholas Bolas, MD.
I wish that he was a doctor. Like, that should be like the next step of Nicholas Bolas.
Face a greater challenge, medical school.
So that should be 6 damage, right? Hold on.
Well, things are happening. Looks like.
Well, no, right now. If someone enters the scoop phase.
I think he didn't take enough damage.
Well, he's got 3 Pack Rats on the field and a purple white dude.
Oh, that Underworld Connections. That's...
milking him. Swinging in with a pro white.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. He's got 3 Pack Rat tokens.
Where the hell did those come in? I did not see this.
It's going to draw a card. This game state has gotten really convoluted. They need to be paying more attention.
Looks like he dug in with all of his creatures. Evan's blocking.
It's a very interesting interaction between the Underworld connections and the pack rat.
Yeah.
So he's going to have 4/4 pack rats, as well as a 2/1 Knight of Infamy, which is going to trade with the 2/2 Haste Exalted guy. All of the blockers die, and Evan is in a world of hurt.
Your top deck's a Sublime, I think. Is that a Terminator he has?
Yes.
Yeah. The Sublime's not good enough.
Yeah. Board wipe wouldn't be bad. Murder
a pack rat's fine, but you can't block, so they just die.
Yeah.
He just dies, folks.
Well, that means
Pack rats.
Pack rats for days.
death.
I don't know exactly what's going on.
He's drawing from, then he swings and death. Yep, there it is.
But sometimes you gotta like make the person go through it. Like if there's a chance.
Did you watch the end of the last Pro Tour, where the Stanislav Sivkov playing eggs?
Oh God, yes.
Dug for his grape shot, then cast it, and forgot about the Deathrite Shaman's Gain 2 Life ability, and almost punted the Pro Tour. But luckily with that deck, it doesn't matter because you can just loop it and do it all again, which Watanabe understood anyway, and just showed him that he was smarter than him in Magic, and then it's conceded, So that is.
The funny thing is, like, did you watch the game with Li Shi Tian or whatever? Like, basically, I can't remember. He was like, "Show me that you have your 3 face rewards." Shows it to him, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go get a bottle of water while you keep going." He's just like, "Just keep going your phase." There's also LSV. LSV punted a game, I think, with shaman activations or something. Like he completely messed it up, so he couldn't gain enough life or something. And then, like after the game, he goes to Twitter and he's like, "Shut up! It's my life."
So someone's saying in the chat that I should type /subscribers so that people get something. Does that work, or am I getting trolled or something? I don't want to It's like when I used to be on AOL when I was 12 years old, and I was like, "Hey everybody, if you want to see a cool picture, hit Alt F4."
Actually, like
Goatsy, I love goats.
Well, I think deleting System 32 is actually a great way to speed up your computer.
Yeah, it
if
is.
anyone on the chat would like to try that, I mean, go for it.
So let's switch back here to this thing. I have to update. I like how every time I switch back, everyone gets the proper and stuff like that.
I'm Jordan. I talk like this.
So
I'm
we're back
okay
here.
with people making Asian
So
jokes about me all the time.
Lots of people have been complaining all night about the quality of the stream in terms of the video. Apparently it's still being choppy or laggy. It was infinitely worse before. Some of that I think is a factor of our internet connection, which I'm going to talk with the guys here and see if we can sort that out later. Talking to the shop, they've been having some issues with their ISP this week, so there's some of that as well. Plus people have said that Twitch has been acting up today. So I think all of that is combining into various things that are working against us.
Is what it is.
Spoilers?
Is what it is.
Or are we giving away stuff, Tom? Or are we giving away spoilers?
Ooh.
Or are we spoiling the giveaway?
Uh-oh, there it was. Dat Beard. Dat Beard sighting. Alright, I'm going to do it. If it logged everything off, then...
If this is the way to log off, Twitch has a very sense of humor. I like it.
Did things happen?
I did it.
This room is now subscribers only mode.
So if you paid your $3, now you can see Zach and his beard nude.
I don't think that's what I want.
I agree with that statement of not wanting that.
Whoever said sup, Jordan? I don't know who you are.
Oh God, it's happening.
Well, if anybody knows how to undo that, let me know. Or if
He did troll you!
Yeah. Well,
Got him!
I wouldn't necessarily cheer for the guy who's effing with the thing we're doing at our local card shop to support it, but that's a different take on things, I guess.
It worked. Good job, buddy.
cannot detect sarcasm, I think, because I'm not real thrilled with this, but apparently you guys are more than happy.
It's only funny because it's stupid. Why that works that way.
So, don't
I
know.
don't understand what he was saying, though, that it sends messages out to people.
I don't know. I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. How do you,
Do they have a help thing?
More settings, maybe?
This will be very exciting for the few people who can watch this, because I have no idea what's going on.
Email.
Chat.
Chat.
Let's see if we can fix it. There's the one person we banned in chat.
And he has mongrel in his screen name.
I think you need to go to the chat help, so it'll tell you the tags, I think.
Chat help. Okay. Things are happening.
Subscribers
Subscriber turn on. Subscribers off. /
We fixed it.
Okay. Hooray.
Yay! There's some guy in his mom's basement. He's like, man, I got those guys so good.
Mom! I did it!
I finally got somebody.
Are you moving out yet?
It's also it's also funny because I clearly identified that as what was going on, but it could do nothing about it.
Did it do it?
Yeah, this is
I don't
us
know.
talking about it.
It's a chat.
There's like a lag thing. Oh yeah, here we go.
People,
It's off! It's off!
so that happened. So that's going to be great when I chop this up. Knock out all that dead time. But I'm glad I could provide entertainment for that one guy.
Yeah.
One guy felt pretty good about it. He's getting banned. So, Mary the Hobbit, you're banned. For at least one FNM. Oh, I'm clicking the wrong button. Boom.
The hammer symbol.
So, Mary, if you troll the chat, you get banned for one.
For one remainder of the chat.
Is that how you do it?
I don't know. No, it's not. You just gave him a check mark.
No, I think I did.
No, but he just right there.
No. Yeah, but I think that was before it's success.
Okay. Also, apparently they can see they just can't chat. But that's so funny. It's like
the last words were...
It's only fitting for tonight because I feel like that is the perfect microcosm that represents the total train wreck and cluster that this evening has been between technical difficulties. It still looks like we're in a claymation video because the stream is so choppy. I don't know what's going on. I'm exhausted for some reason, which is good because I have to get up at the, well, not the crack of dawn, but we have an early morning as Jordan. You have to get up earlier than I do because, no, I'll get up. All right, that's a good idea. I'll go get a tasty beverage after the break. This is another great thing about Lost Agent Games and Comics. Delicious snacks and tasty beverages.
But don't go to the Chinese restaurant down the street because it probably has rats.
I can't confirm that. I do know that we are ironically within walk of like 5 different Asian restaurants.
Maintenance.
There's a Chinese place. There's like a higher end Chinese place. There's like a Chinese takeout place, and there's like a Chinese sit down place. The pho place is next door. The banh mi is next door on the other side. It's just like a little Chinatown over here, which is funny because like 2 of those places are not in China, but I somehow decided to mention.
I mean, China is like the biggest continent I've heard, and
I can't confirm that.
Just arrived from your FNM, Matthias. What have you missed? Well, you've missed a lot of nonsense. Tonight has been crazy, in the sense that everything is a hot mess. Someone pointing out that I need to get Max to full-time monitor the chat. Could be fun. Yeah, there's people keep talking about the choppy video. I don't know what's up. I really don't.
But then what
Max has
We're
got
no
to play.
better than the Tyrants.
So here's another thing. Let's talk about this briefly. Last week, if you're a friend on Facebook, if you're a stream regular, you obviously know about this. But if you're new to it, I think this is pretty neat. If I was watching, I've already said before. I know I'm obviously biased, but if I was not part of this stream, and I was not, moderating the Facebook page. Like, this is the kind of stream I would want to watch and the kind of Facebook page I would want to go to, because it's lighthearted. It's like, you get your real magic, but it's also having a good time. Doesn't take itself too seriously. This is also something, a promotion that I would love to be a part of, which is we have a special promotion called Max Turner Needs a Deck, which features the aforementioned Max Turner, stream regular, beloved Lost Legion patron. Max has decided that basically he's going to let you guys decide what deck he plays, and we're going to do that every 2 weeks. So last week was the first installment of that. We had a vote all week. We submitted deck ideas. We narrowed it down to 5, had a poll. Burn at the Stake combo won handily. And then Max piloted that to a 3-2 finish last week and top 8'd with it. And did some very degenerate things on camera, including turn 4, Burn at the Stake for 51.
Whoa.
No, he killed somebody. He did 51 damage with the Burn at the Stake in one game and killed someone on turn 4 another game. So pretty exciting stuff. Well, we're doing it again. So this week we've been taking submissions. There is information about that on the Facebook page if you want to go check it out. Just look for the big picture of Max that says Max Turner Needs a Deck. But just leave your suggestions in the comments on what deck that Max should play. Trying to keep it to things that are at least viable. I mean, we don't want to see some crazy... There's always the guy who's like 60 Islands, which I believe is Jordan. He usually recommends that. But, so things that are off the wall. There's been a Stuffy Doll has been recommended this week. A singleton control deck, which I thought was pretty cool. Basically just no more than one of each. Yeah. Max actually played that a year and a half ago, back when Zendikar was legal. He showed up with a singleton control deck and top 8'd with it. He didn't tell anybody. I was the only person who knew that there was only one copy of each thing. He had like one core Firewalker, one ley line of Sanctity in it, stuff like that. So if you have a cool deck that you want to see played, the Pack Rat's been on there a lot actually. Lost in the Woods, Primal Surge, all these things.
Lost in the Woods.
So if you want to suggest that, go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/ZachSellsMagic. We're still taking through the weekend. We're still going to take deck suggestions, and then at some point next Monday or Tuesday we'll have the poll and get the final vote. So Max will be playing that next week, so make sure you come back and check that out. The Burn at the Stake week could not have gone better. Like, it was just have you watched any of those videos after the fact? Like, it's just very, very cool deck, very interesting. Played an Is It build with the combo with he had Epic Experiment. Didn't really like that, but it was basically Past in Flames, Battle Hymn type combo. Yeah. Pretty exciting. So make sure you go there and check that out and participate in that. Also, just check out all the other stuff we've got going on the Facebook page: giveaways, highlight videos, pictures of my beard.
But that's not safe for work. So
not safe for work. That's beard porn. Beard porn.
So we've been talking all night about Gate Crash spoilers. It seems to be fun. We'll keep it up. We've talked about, the last thing we talked about was Dimir Kirun, I believe. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to get Zach Vilianko in here before we talk about Gideon, because we kind of teased it.
We just want to destroy it.
Yeah, we just teased it last time. But let's talk about this Dustmantle Guildmage. Dustmantle Guildmage has the interesting side note of being the card that made Jace Memory Adept go from $10 to $15 over the last 2 days.
Really?
Yeah. So Dustmantle Guildmage is a blue and a black. It's a 2/2, just like most of the Guildmage. Aren't all the Guildmages 2/2 for their colors?
Yes.
But their activations differ in cost.
Yes.
So his first ability, 1 blue and a black. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere this turn, that player loses 1 life. And again, that's just with the colon, so it's stackable. You can activate it multiple times. And then second activation, 2 blue and a black. Target player puts the top 2 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. I mentioned Jason Memory Adept. Why did that card spike $5 in price overnight? Well, that's because if you play this guy, and have Jace Memory Adept, the next turn, 6 mana, you activate the first one twice, mill 10, the game is over. Mm-hmm. Yep. Again, this is pretty narrow. And it is that kind of like combo deck that I don't think, one of the combo pieces costs 6, the other combo piece is a 2/2 creature, and the entire thing costs 6 mana to activate and usually has to live through 1 turn, or 11 all on the same turn. So I don't think it's necessarily that good, but it is the kind of thing that casuals like to see. This card's, I know we've said this about everything, but this card is very strong in EDH. The fact that you can stack it if you have a mill-based deck, the fact that it affects all of your opponents, if you have...
Well, it only the opponent who gets milled, so you have to mill all your opponents.
Yeah, but there's all the mill decks in EDH are trying to mill everybody out anyway.
Yeah.
That's pretty good for, like, I know a lot of people use the Mind Over Matter or Temple Bell interaction, where you draw a card and then you discard it to Mind Over Matter, untap your Temple Bell, mills everybody out, but if they've got an Eldrazi or something, you can't mill them out like that. Yeah. So
just kill them.
You can taking damage still works in Magic, so an infinite amount of damage is usually pretty good. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know if this guy is necessarily going to see much constructed play, but he is pretty interesting. It's very on theme. Most of the mill decks in Commander are blue-black, so it should be interesting. Anything going on? Yeah, also, Monster talking about in the chat about... Glimpse the Unthinkable also would be a instant kill with 2 activations of this, and then also Mind Crank. Mind Crank says that whenever someone puts whenever they lose life, put 2 cards in the graveyard.
Whenever someone loses life, they mill that many. That's it.
Yeah, so it kind of infinite.
Infinite.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say a card that if you're going standard-wise, like Doorkeepers or something like that can actually kind of do a reliable, like an actual body that can kind of support that it's not just there for mill. It actually can block and keep you to the levels that you could do this. Maybe something like that, because we've seen decks that mill that way, haven't we? Isn't there a mill deck around here that uses Doorkeepers to mill or something like that?
No, you just made that up.
Okay, well then... I just thought there was a Doorkeeper deck somewhere.
I don't know.
Hey,
Zach Villianco's Primal Surge deck played 1 Doorkeeper at one point, and then decided it wasn't good enough. But like I said, this is just a fun card. Not all these cards in here are...
Have we talked about Zamet Guildmage? Or is that...
I think I have that in here. I know that's one of your favorites because you are a Simic guy. Also, it is a very strong card. Much more standard playable. Let's see what else I got in my bag of tricks here. Zamet Guildmage, you talked about it. This also has the distinction of being the participation card for... Gatecrash Game Day, am I correct?
Yes, and I will be collecting them. If you all want to ship them to us, I will pay for them. I want them. I want all of them.
And if you would like to ship dollar bills to me, I will accept them. And the mailing address, contact me later. So, Zamet Guildmage, filling out the Simic spot in the Guildmage cycle. It's a blue and a green for a 2/2 creature. The first activation, blue and a green. This turn, each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. Its second ability also for green and a blue, remove a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. So what I think is neat about this is that, we talked about this in the stream before, Simic is merfolk based in this iteration of Ravnica, thematically. And so the question is, is that going to be more of a... Merfolk were the most aggressive, blue tribe. Most of the Merfolk decks are very quick clocks, And so if you have any kind of... tempo strategy like that, and the thing here too is I don't know how good this is going to play. Again, it's going to be awesome in EDH, but the fact that you can stack it, it can get pretty crazy.
Oh yeah, it can. It's just so you play 4 mana.
Yeah, even if and it's just when the thing comes into play. So your Thragtusk token comes into play after it dies, and you can stack these. So you pay 6 mana, it comes in as a 6/6.
There's also on top of that the natural evolve ability of the guild, which to me that's where this guy's going to shine. Is because now you can play your Simic cards that have evolve, naturally just let them evolve or something, and then just start drawing cards off them. You don't have to do it for the fact that you want the aggro pump or like the power or toughness bump. You just want to draw cards, and you're doing that by playing creatures, which you probably would have normally done anyways. So if the creature is like a reasonable body anyways, I find them awesome. But I'm also, as you said, purely Simic, so...
I'm kind of gruel.
That's so... I'm thinking of the food. like just nasty
more? Did you say more? You can have more. I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
So it's cool. Like I said, in EDH, any of your token generators, all these big, storm herd type effects, where you make a bunch of guys, you can stack this and make all of your 1/1 guys into, much.
Doubling season.
Yeah, all the Simic, all the green stuff is going to be doing that anyway. So all your saplings and stuff can come into play. So it has a lot of strength. All these, the ones where I really see the difference in these guild mages is the ones where they have the 2-cost activation. If it's playable, it's infinitely better than the one that's 3.
Yeah.
Just because the ability to do it twice for 4 mana versus once for 3 mana, it's just remarkable. And most of the ones that have been spoiled, they stack fairly well.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how aggressive. The other Guild Mages? I was talking about the ones from the previous set as well.
Oh, okay.
One of the cards, one of my favorite Guild Mages from the previous set, which is a powerhouse in Limited, was the Azorius one, which you could give your whole team flying. And that was pretty effective for 2 mana apiece. So Guild Mage, interesting card. Jordan's favorite is going to be the full art participation card for the Gate Crash game day. So a month after Gate Crash is released, that Saturday and Sunday they'll be running the game day events. So if you come out to that and participate, you will get one of those. I don't have the art for that.
The rare is the Fire Main Avenger. If anyone's interested, and it's actually like gorgeous art. Like even though
I don't have those, so I'll try to put the game day cards in the recap post. So you can check it out on Facebook later. I'll put that up in this week's photo gallery. Remind me to take some pictures, guys. Zach Vilianco, how'd you do in that round?
I lost a heartbreaker 2-1.
So you are 2-1 tonight?
Well, no,
you're 1-2
because round 1 I took a straight loss.
Yeah, because you
and
weren't
now
here.
we get to talk about Gideon.
So now that you're back, let's talk about Gideon.
Ah, yes.
Let's talk about
You mean World Slayer in permanent form?
Here's what I'm going to let you guys do. I want you guys to talk about Gideon. I'm going to get a drink, go to the restroom.
Sure.
Okay.
Here's my opinion of Gideon right now. I'll just very. This is not a very good Magic card. The art is pretty cool. Gideon himself is pretty cool. The old Gideon was pretty cool. This card, not so much.
All right. Well, we can see.
It is what it is.
Let's see if we can rebut.
Take a shot.
See if we can rebut that. As I take over in the primary Zach seat right here. See, look, I get to.
Zach seat.
This is a Zach only seat. I'm not sure how to change it to my name. Probably because the Zach seat can't be changed, apparently.
You're right.
Whichever one says
that. It's all right. Let's talk about Gideon. So, 4 mana. That's the Jace, the Mind Sculptor spot. So he's automatically a plus in that respect. Not red-white, so I'm sure many people are disappointed that he is not red-white because of that awesome artwork that was spoiled where he was with Aurelia. So he's still mono white. I think Aaron Forsyth said that they still think he's still got some soul searching to do before he branched out to another color. But his first ability puts a loyalty counter on for every creature your opponent controls, so he can get very big variable. It's a +1, but it's also more than that, so it's pretty interesting. His 0 continues the theme of Gideon, making him a creature essentially, an indestructible, indestructible creature, so you can't do the old trick of, I animate Gideon and then go for the throw to him, ultimate pricing, whatever. So that's a nice upgrade, one of the few upgrades, probably, from the original Gideon. And then, obviously, that shiny -15, basically win the game with exile all the permanents. So I do not think you're recovering from that one. I mean, Venser's Emblem, you didn't recover from, but occasionally something happened crazy, Jace the Mind Sculptor, people did fight through that and somehow win the game with only their 5-card library. But I don't think that you recover from exile all the permanents. Maybe you do, but I don't think you would. So, Jordan, what do you think?
I hate him.
You hate him?
I hate him.
Why?
Passionate.
Why?
My Gideon that I know and love was play him, you attack my Gideon, and I pass the turn. That was the Gideon I liked.
They can't have reprinted him.
They don't have to reprint him, but I want to control Gideon. That's what Gideon is.
This is a control Gideon.
He's I'll plus my Gideon, and then you'll attack me and kill me.
He's a potential win condition under certain circumstances, right?
I guess. I just don't like cards that reward my opponent for being ahead.
Okay, well, that's fair. That's a fair point. But what if you drop him turn 4, +1 him and gain 3 or 4 counters, maybe 4 counters, and then next turn, bam, Supreme Verdict, and I don't know. Okay. Sam, what is your opinion on this Gideon?
I look at Planeswalkers, in Standard, I don't think he'll see very much play just because it's really dependent on the type of deck. I mean, sideboard, sure, if you're playing mono-white for whatever reason. When I think about Planeswalkers, I chiefly think about their interactions in EDH, and exiling everybody's permanents except for that one Planeswalker you have in EDH who has probably 20 counters on him because everybody was playing creatures.
Yeah.
That is like a massive dick move.
I would say it's definitely going to get you attacked. So you will get to use that ability once in EDH, but that is it, and no one will ever play with you again, or they'll kill you before you. So I agree with you on that one. That's the counterbalance top of EDH. You can do it once to somebody, but you will never do it again. What are his other abilities useful in EDH? Do you think? I mean, he's going to gain a lot of loyalty count.
Yeah, he's like Joe Lewis.
Oh, good point. Someone said, what if your opponent had Thragtusk? That's true. They would have a 3/3 beast. Good catch, Archmage. The stream, everyone seems to be saying he's pretty much terrible. Yeah. But I think that's a good point. Thragtusk once again shows why it's the best card in Magic of all time. That he even survives the ultimate. And the true Zach, I'm transferring control back to the primary Zach here.
Were you feeding people's heads with lies?
That's what this
card is awful.
It's pretty terrible. I mean,
it's fun. Again, awesome in EDH, but like.
Well, no, as Sam pointed out, it's not awesome in EDH because his ultimate basically says, you win the game, and I never play with you again.
Yeah, it's like Worldfire.
Worldfire's banned, I believe.
Yeah, but not before Jordan Pectio cast it once.
I did it 6 times. I had 6 EDH games of Worldfiring and died every time.
Well, you must have some really stupid friends. Are we friends on
Oh, nice one. I like that zing. That was a tasty zing. But I actually made a Worldfire EDH deck that was also Jahora, and what I would do is suspend Worldfire, and then right behind it, take 1 time counter off of it and suspend Flames of the Fire.
Well, let's go see if we can find a game out here.
Well, how much time is left?
This is pairings.
Oh, okay. I thought we were only 6 minutes.
You keep talking about Gideon. I'll find a game.
Gideon sucks. Gideon sucks. Sell them all. Burn them.
Okay, I'm interested that they actually did not make him red, and this is from a purely flavor standpoint. Gideon, when he was going through all of his crap, had a really strong hatred of red mana and people who use red mana, even though he kind of had a thing with Chandra.
Yeah.
But it's because his master or his sensei got killed by a fire dude or something, or his
dad. I didn't know that. I just thought he just met all the other planeswalkers or something. I don't know. I just feel like if I play a planeswalker, I either A, want them to defend themselves, or B, have immediate impact on the board. When I play a planeswalker that either animates into a creature that can attack, or +1s and gets loyalty counters, to me, none of that is what I want in a card. That is what I do not like. Maybe there's a deck out there that he's good in, but I just really can't see, if you're playing a creature deck, you don't want him. You're playing aggro, you don't want him. I don't think you're turf one, playing Gideon. I'm gonna...
Oh yeah, that's my 4 spot.
This is my beat house. This is my Gideon, my planeswalker.
I would like to, if we still have a moment, I'd like to talk about a Gatecrash spoiler that's been spoiled forever, which is Aurielia, the Warbringer lady.
Here's the short answer to